Right now, while you're watching this video, something strange is happening inside your mouth every few seconds. Your body is quietly releasing a clear liquid that is literally protecting your life. Most people think it's just spit, something annoying, something useless. But here's a disturbing question that almost nobody ever asks. What would happen if your body suddenly stopped producing saliva completely? Not less saliva, not dry mouth for a few hours, but zero saliva at all. At first, it might not sound like a big deal. After all, people live without an appendix, without tonsils, even with only one kidney. So losing saliva doesn't sound life-threatening, right? But the truth is far more disturbing than most people expect. Because the moment saliva disappears from your body, a silent chain reaction begins inside your mouth. And the first symptom would show up faster than you think. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning like any normal day. You stretch, take a breath, and instinctively swallow. But something feels wrong. Your tongue feels rough, almost like it's covered in dust. Your lips slightly stick to your teeth. You try to speak, and your voice sounds a little strange. At first, you assume you're just dehydrated. Maybe you didn't drink enough water before bed, but then you take a sip of water. And the strange dryness doesn't go away, because what's missing isn't water. What's missing is saliva. And within minutes, your mouth begins to feel like sandpaper. Moving your tongue around your mouth feels uncomfortable. Even swallowing your own spit becomes impossible, because there isn't any. Now here's the part most people don't realize. Your body normally produces between 1 and 1.5 liters of saliva every single day. That's about the size of a large water bottle, and it doesn't happen all at once. Your salivary glands release tiny amounts every few seconds, constantly coating your mouth, your teeth, your tongue, and your throat. It's like a built-in protection system that runs 24 hours a day without you ever noticing. But the moment that system stops, your body begins losing one of its most important hidden defenses. Within the first hour, the dryness inside your mouth would become impossible to ignore. Your tongue would start sticking slightly to the roof of your mouth. Your lips might crack. Even breathing through your mouth would feel uncomfortable. But the real problems begin when you try to do something completely normal. Eat. Imagine taking a bite of toast, or rice, or a simple sandwich. Normally, the moment food enters your mouth, saliva instantly begins soaking into it. It softens every bite and turns dry food into a smooth mixture that's easy to swallow. But without saliva, that entire process stops working. Food stays dry, crumbly, hard to move around. Your tongue struggles to push it toward your throat, and suddenly swallowing becomes a challenge. Imagine trying to eat a handful of dry crackers without drinking anything. That's what every meal would feel like. Within a day, many people would start avoiding solid foods entirely because chewing and swallowing would feel uncomfortable and sometimes painful. But eating problems are only the first stage, because saliva secretly protects something incredibly important: your teeth. Inside your mouth live hundreds of different types of bacteria. These bacteria constantly feed on tiny food particles left behind after you eat. As they digest those particles, they produce acids that slowly attack your tooth enamel. Normally, saliva acts like a powerful defense shield. It washes away leftover food, neutralizes harmful acids, and delivers minerals like calcium and phosphate that repair microscopic damage before it becomes a cavity. Without saliva, that protection disappears completely. Suddenly, the bacteria inside your mouth have no resistance at all. Acids begin attacking your enamel far more aggressively. Cavities could start forming much faster than normal. Tooth damage that might normally take years could begin developing within months. But here's something even more disturbing. Saliva doesn't just protect your teeth. It also controls the entire bacterial ecosystem inside your mouth. Normally, saliva constantly flushes bacteria away while releasing antimicrobial compounds that prevent dangerous microbes from multiplying too quickly. Without saliva, those bacteria would start multiplying rapidly. Bad breath would become much stronger. Infections could become more common. Painful sores might begin appearing along your gums and inside your cheeks. But the problems don't stop inside your mouth, because saliva actually plays a surprising role in digestion too. The moment food enters your mouth, saliva releases an enzyme called amylase. This enzyme begins breaking down starches into simpler sugars before you even swallow your food. In other words, digestion starts while you're still chewing. Without saliva, that early digestion step disappears. Your stomach and intestines would suddenly have to work harder to break down foods that normally begin digesting in your mouth. Over time, this could cause slower digestion, bloating, and discomfort after meals. But something even stranger would begin happening next. Your sense of taste would start fading. When you eat something flavorful, the taste molecules in that food need to dissolve in liquid before they can activate the taste receptors on your tongue. That liquid is saliva. Without saliva, those flavor molecules struggle to reach your taste buds. Sweet foods taste weaker. Salty foods feel dull. Even strong flavors start fading. Imagine biting into your favorite pizza or burger, and suddenly it tastes almost bland. Over time, this could actually reduce your desire to eat altogether, because food simply wouldn't feel as enjoyable anymore. But the next problem might be even more uncomfortable: swallowing. You probably swallow hundreds of times every day without noticing. Saliva constantly lubricates your throat so food and liquids slide smoothly down your esophagus. Without saliva, swallowing becomes dry and difficult. Some people with severe dry mouth describe it as trying to swallow without any lubrication at all. It feels rough, uncomfortable, and sometimes painful. In extreme situations, it could even increase the risk of choking because food doesn't move smoothly down the throat. But the problems still don't stop there. Saliva also protects your mouth from fungal infections. One infection called oral thrush happens when a fungus known as Candida begins growing uncontrollably inside the mouth. Normally, saliva keeps these organisms under control using antifungal compounds. Without saliva, that protection disappears. The fungus can spread more easily, creating white patches inside the mouth, irritation, and painful swallowing. But here's something fascinating that many people never realize. Saliva also helps wounds heal faster. If you accidentally bite your tongue or the inside of your cheek, saliva releases special proteins that speed up healing. That's why cuts inside your mouth usually heal surprisingly quickly compared to cuts on your skin. Without saliva, those injuries would take much longer to heal and could become infected more easily. But another everyday activity would suddenly become harder without saliva: speaking. When you talk, your tongue, lips, and teeth move smoothly together because saliva keeps everything lubricated. When your mouth becomes extremely dry, those movements become sticky and uncomfortable. Words might start sounding slurred or unclear. That's why when people feel extremely nervous or dehydrated, their mouth suddenly feels dry and speaking becomes difficult. Now imagine that dryness happening constantly. Even simple conversations could feel frustrating. Over time, the lack of saliva would also affect the tissues in your throat and esophagus. These delicate surfaces rely on constant lubrication to stay healthy. Without saliva, they could become irritated and inflamed. Swallowing food repeatedly without proper lubrication might cause discomfort over long periods of time. When you combine all these effects together, difficulty eating, increased cavities, infections, taste changes, swallowing problems, and constant dryness, it becomes clear just how important saliva really is. The truth is that saliva is far more than just spit. It's your mouth's cleaning system, your first step of digestion, your infection defense, your tooth repair fluid, and your flavor delivery system all combined into one invisible liquid. And the most incredible part is that your body produces it automatically every single second without you even thinking about it. Scientists estimate that the average person produces around 1 to 1.5 liters of saliva every day. That's roughly the size of a large water bottle. Imagine losing that protective flow completely. Suddenly your mouth would be exposed to bacteria, dryness, irritation, and digestive challenges around the clock. And here's the surprising part. There are real medical conditions where people experience severe reductions in saliva production. One of these is chronic dry mouth, also known as xerostomia. People who suffer from this condition often experience many of the symptoms we talked about earlier: difficulty chewing, frequent cavities, bad breath, infections, and changes in taste. But even in those cases, saliva production rarely stops completely. In our scenario, we imagine something even more extreme: your body producing zero saliva at all. And when you look at all the systems that depend on it, you begin to realize how important that small, invisible liquid really is. Every bite of food you enjoy, every word you speak clearly, every time you swallow comfortably, saliva is quietly working behind the scenes to make it possible. It's one of the most overlooked systems in the human body, yet it plays a role in digestion, protection, communication, and even the enjoyment of food. So the next time you enjoy the taste of your favorite meal, remember that something as simple as saliva is helping create that experience. Because sometimes the smallest and most ignored parts of our bodies are actually the ones keeping everything running smoothly. And if they suddenly disappeared, your body would notice immediately. Within minutes, your mouth would start sending signals that something essential is missing, and that's when you'd finally realize that something as ordinary as saliva had been quietly protecting you the entire time.